Good morning. Bed is made, heading down to the elliptical. Got my oodles of water, flat water, sparkling water, mineral water. Woo! 5 minutes. Good job, Amanda. Someone asked about the kettle. This is the kettle I use. I believe it's called Fellow is the brand. This thing's super cool. Push the button. I have it set to 180 and literally it just starts heating that water up pretty dang fast. Having my raw element this morning with some hot water. Finishing up chapter 2 of Tiny Habits right now, and something I thought that was super important to understand, and it took me a little while to understand this, is we can't make ourselves do things we don't want to do, or at least reliably. We can force ourselves to do something a couple times and then we quit because we don't actually want to do it. Maybe we think other people think we should do it, or society says we should, or it's what we think other people expect of us. But it's really important to understand that for habits to stick, we have to have the original motivation. It doesn't have to be a lot. We just have to want to do it for things to stick. And that has been vital for me to understand. I actually enjoy working out, so I don't have to force motivation in there. It's already self-baked because deep down inside, I want to do it. I want to be stronger. Like, I want that, not because someone else wants it for me. I'll read this quick section. You can't get yourself to do what you don't want to do, at least not reliably. You might do the behavior once or twice, but it's unlikely to become a habit. When we match ourselves with behaviors that we already want to do, not what we think we should do, there's no need to fuss with motivation tricks or techniques later. We take the motivation monkey out of commission, and that is what he uses to explain of the ups and downs of having motivation and not having motivation and trying to force ourselves to be motivated when we just aren't. That means when we're creating behaviors for ourselves, we have to be brutally honest. Can I get myself to do this? Will I do it? Am I doing this based on what other people's expectations are? If the answer is yes, then, well, yes to doing it for other people's expectations and not your own. It's going to probably be very difficult to keep that habit. But if it's something we genuinely want to do, then heck yeah. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to wake up, pop out of bed, be 1,000% excited, but it also means you're not going to have to force yourself. A big thing for me is I discovered if I have to argue with myself to do something, I really don't want to do it. And some days when I'm not feeling good, that's a different story, but I just mean in general. I'm feeling good that day, but I still have to have this internal argument trying to force myself to do something. Some chamomile tea this morning before I go to the rheumatologist. Just got to the rheumatologist's office. Gotta go find it since they literally just moved buildings recently. Okay, I'm leaving the office right now. She's gonna do blood work on me. She's a little concerned that I might be going through a flare-up right now. The test will show, and she said, I told her about the mold. And so she said that there is a chance that we may have to do prednisone, which will not help with the mold. We can just hope maybe it's not that, and we can go from there. I think I'm gonna take a nap. I am not feeling so hot. All the dogs decided to snuggle in bed. Ryu's down on the floor in her bed. I'm having quite a bit of like neuralgia, hand pain in my right hand. I don't know what's going on, but maybe a quick nap will help. Here's dinner tonight. Delicious rib roast again. It is super dark, but you can see Olive's collar here glowing in the dark. We are heading to REI to go and see. I did some research about bike seats, and they might have one that's good for tailbone pain. And I kind of discovered why I have the pain I do. So fingers crossed they have one that'll relieve the pain and let me go back to bike riding. And Olive, the lucky dog, gets to go be socialized with us. Evening walk. Have the blue dog back there. Annie, Ryu, Olive, Sadie still had to stay home. Poor doggo. Got back from walking the doggos. I'm gonna make this kind of a quick closer video. I am not feeling so great. I have been silently battling some difficulties recently for the past few weeks, if not honestly the past 6 to 8 weeks. I have just not been feeling well, and this is even before I started working out and things like that. I think a big part is the mold. Sadly, it's when I really started using the Bubba Cup. I can't specifically say that's the exact cause, but it pinpoints more closely to when I started feeling bad. But the bad news is I think it's stirred up a flare-up. I have been feeling really, really bad, and fatigue, feeling like crap, not feeling amazing like I had been feeling. I just can't seem to get enough sleep. There's just a lot that's been going on. I've been having more inflammation and just some, like right now, I'm experiencing some really hypersensitivity in my forearm and hand, and that is what was happening with the scleroderma and RA stuff. Just having these pains come. So I've been dealing with that. Plus, in the middle of all of this, I also had a flare-up of my HS, which is hidradenitis suppurativa or something along those lines. I always forget. And so in the most unpleasant area, in like my thigh area, I have pretty much what it is it's an autoimmune response. The skin flares up, turns into a very painful boil. And yeah, so I have been dealing with that, and that has not been fun lately, which has then the back. This is not a complaint. This is just kind of where I'm at right now. Then my back, all of that has just felt like the icing on the cake, the gravy on the mashed potatoes, whatever you want to call it, of how I'm doing. So mentally, not doing so hot right now. We walk the dogs 1.42 miles, and my low back, not my sacral area that I hurt riding the bike too much, I noticed is hurting again. And this is not the same pain as after the chiropractor. It's a very specific fatigue pain that I'm feeling. What I think is causing it potentially is because I have stressed the repetitive stress injury to the sacral area and things like that. I think maybe it's putting tension on the low back where it hadn't been. So now it's stirring up that old pain of when I was having to use the walker. But the sad thing is Scott and I walked yesterday, same distance, and I actually had to stop briefly and sit down for like 20 seconds just to give that low part of my back a break. And I kind of feel like I've slid backwards, considering, you know, when Rosie died, we hiked 8 miles. Thank you, honey. I forgot to take my pills this morning. We hiked 8 miles. So I definitely feel like I've slid backwards. I know it's all up in here because I still am mentally, physically, health-wise 8 miles past where I was at. And I get that, but it's hard in the moment right now. It feels like everything's just coming together, not good. And so there it is. That's what's happening with me. I'm gonna go tomorrow or Friday morning. First thing, I'm gonna go and get all of the immunology blood work done. And I'm also just gonna, because they're right next to each other, I'll drip water all over me. I'm gonna go and get my x-rays done. But as I said, I'm 99.9% sure it's just the RSI injury from the bike. We did get a seat tonight. I haven't tried it yet. I'm not too hopeful. It may just be I have to let it heal all the way. But from what I was reading about bicycles, there's multiple things you can do sitting on your bike wrong to put a lot of pressure on the pelvis, which then translates the pressure to the coccyx sacral area. If the seat isn't parallel with the ground, so if there's any tilt, if it's too low, if my posture when I'm sitting isn't good, there's various things. If the seat is too soft, these kinds of things. So I got a slightly firmer seat because the seat I originally was using was an upgraded wider bottom seat. I got one that was better than the original woman seat, but maybe it's a little too soft, so it's letting my pelvis sink and putting pressure in the wrong areas. I don't know. I might try it tomorrow. I might wait a few days because it's supposed to be like, what is the high tomorrow? Like 15? No, the low's 15. And then the day after, the low's like 8 on Friday. Hello. So that is where we're at. Just trying to mentally cope with all of that and not fall apart, because sometimes I do want to just fall apart inside and outside. I will stop moaning and groaning. I appreciate you guys so very much. Have a wonderful day today. Despite today things falling apart here and there, I still had an amazing day, because you know what? I had my dogs, I have my amazing husband, I had a delicious dinner, a roof over my head, and all of the blessings that I have. So even in the hard times, we can be thankful. Olive says hello. Also, I took my cushion out of my chair because I'm sitting on the donut, hoping it's going to help. I'm not quite sure if it's helping it. I guess I'll crochet a little bit and figure that out in the next 30 minutes if the donut cushion's going to help or not. All right, y'all, have a wonderful day. As I said, I appreciate you so much, and just know you are worth all of the effort. Bumps and hurdles are going to come, and sometimes we're going to fall, but it doesn't make it any less worth it. All right, y'all, I shall talk to you tomorrow. Bye.